Good afternoon, everybody. We're coming to you live on Facebook from the Torch Center, from the Talmud Lunch and Learn, where we get together every Friday at 12 o'clock, thank you, at 12 o'clock for a couple of words of inspiration before Shabbos, getting into Shabbos on a high. So, before we begin our Talmud class, I want to invite all of our friends. Thank you, Davida. It's great to see you here. I want to invite everyone to join us live in our class, because if you're not at the class, you can only get a short segment of it online. But the class will continue for a nice long hour, and only for a few minutes so we can be online. Okay, so we're up to way number 46, because tonight we're going to count the Omer, the 46th day of the Omer. And what's amazing is that every one of these days leading up to today, we learned a different tool to make our lives perfect, to make our lives maximize to the greatest possible ability. So yesterday we spoke about learning. When you learn for a cause. Learn to teach, learn to do. Today we're going to talk about, now as an educator, right, we have a different responsibility, is to educate the educator, right? So whether we're the student or we're the educator ourselves, we need to learn to learn. So first is we need to learn from every experience, right? Every person should be an educator of something. Okay, we should be an educator, whether it's to our children, to our friends, to our environment, to our community, to the people around us. We should all be influencers in the sense that you have something unique that you can share with the world. Utilize that uniqueness, bring it to the world, but always know that even if you are the greatest in any specific field, in any specific area, there's always something more you can learn. So even as an educator, don't forget to educate yourself. I remember this clearly. The head midwife of Shaarei Tzedek Hospital in Jerusalem is my great aunt. Her name is Bambi, for Bamberger. She's originally from France. All her friends and acquaintances called her Bambi. So that became her name, and she's very, very famous. There's a lot written about her amazing work. And she delivered babies for almost 50 years in Shaarei Tzedek Hospital, one of the busiest hospitals in the world. She delivered, numbers have it, anywhere between 35 and 45,000 babies, including she delivered me. I was born in 1978. My son, who's sitting right next to me here, who was born in 2002, and who knows how many tens of thousands of babies in between. An amazing woman. Now, when my wife was in labor with my oldest son in Shaarei Tzedek Hospital in Jerusalem, we were interestingly both born in Shaarei Tzedek Hospital, but I was born in the old Shaarei Tzedek, which is today the Ministry of Broadcast, and he's born in the new one. But even the new one is old. But I remember it was, my wife was already in the delivery room, and there's a college for nurses, that you have these young little whippersnapper nurses. They're 18 years old or 17. They're learning, their first things, and they're sitting in on, watching or participating in a delivery. And here, I'm looking at a scene where you have a woman who's clearly probably the most tenured, well-recognized labor and delivery professional nurse in the world, is about to deliver a baby. And you have this little pipsqueak nurse who's lecturing her. I bet that she didn't even know who it was that she was talking to. Lecturing her about protocol or the procedures or the this or that. You know, she probably delivered her, by the way, right? And what I was the most impressed about is that how you had this woman who's probably has 50 years on her, not only in practice, in actual literal years, and she was listening intently with the humility, with an acceptance, with a love. Like, maybe there's something new I can learn. Maybe there's some new something that I don't necessarily know about. And it was such an incredible sight to see the humility that she had. To be able to accept, you know, typically you have this, like, you think about it like this. You're an electrician for 50 years. You have this new guy came out of school, an engineer, right? He's going to tell you now about how to connect the wires. You're like, kid, I do that in reverse, you know, faster than you can do it. It's like, but no, with unbelievable humility, she listened. Why? Because she understands way number 46. Way number 46 is always educate the educator. You can always learn more. You can always add more wisdom. Don't think that just because you became so successful, because you're so accomplished and achieved, and you wrote so many books that nobody can tell you anything that will inspire you, that no one can enlighten your next step of your growth. Everyone, even an educator, needs to be educated. So with that, my friends, I want to thank you all for joining us. And that's going to be for Shabbos's counting of the Omer, for tonight's counting of the Omer. And for Way 47, we will resume Sunday morning. Till then, my friends, thank you for joining us. We're going to sign off here and continue with our regular live, non-Facebook broadcast in a minute. Thank you for joining us. Please like and share this program so that more people can enjoy and study Torah while online. Is that amazing? Thank you. Good Shabbos.